This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's 7:05 on March 8th, and I would like to call to order the annual meeting of the Park Ridge Friends of the Parks. I'm Jean Costigan, president of the foundation, and I would like to thank you for your continued support of the foundation and the Park Ridge Park District. I think this past year has really highlighted the beautiful open parks and amenities throughout our town. Tonight, I'll introduce you to a few of our board members who will talk a little bit about the various components of our organization, both the fundraising aspect and financing our projects and events. Managing the technical portion of this meeting is Margaret Haller. Margaret is the Marketing and Public Relations Director for the Park District. She has been with the Park District for 7 years, and she serves ex officio on the Friends of the Parks Board as our liaison to the Park District. First, I'd like to start with a roll call of our board members. Mike?
Mike's here.
Can you call roll?
Sure.
Okay.
Bridget Flannery. Steve Hunst.
Here.
Cindy Grau.
Here.
Suzanne Henn.
Present.
Debbie Bright.
Here.
Jean Costigan.
Here.
Everybody's here.
Great. Next, I'd like to introduce Gail Mountcastle. Gail is the Executive Director of the Park Ridge Park District. She's been the leader of the Park District since 2011 and has led the Park District through many projects, including the opening of the new Centennial Aquatic Center, the renovation of Maine Park Leisure Center, and the successful referendum to acquire and develop the former youth campus to Prospect Park. Over the past year, she has been leading the Park District through this pandemic, so I'm sure she's going to tell us more about that tonight. Gail?
Thank you so much, Jean, and it's so great to be with all of you tonight to talk about, the past year. And so I will jump right in to start the presentation. So I thought it was important to share with the foundation and our supporters and guests some of the high or low lights, I guess you would call them, of our past year at the Park District and how we've managed through COVID-19, the challenges and some of the success stories and where we're at financially. So this is truly just a snapshot, as you can imagine, of what we have been through. So first of all, when this all hit us, about a year ago, of course, us and the whole world, we're in shock, and everybody has dealt with, their own versions of, what this year has meant to them. At the Park District, just like always, our safety is our paramount. Without safety, I tell the staff, we have nothing else. So every decision that we made throughout this various stages of the pandemic, centered around safety. And so it has not been always the easiest decisions and the most popular, but that's at the center of everything that we do, because if we can't provide a safe environment, then that nothing else will be successful for all of the patrons and the employees. Of course, the other one is financial. So we had very tough financial decisions this year. We were challenged with basically recreating an entire business model at each step of the pandemic. This came through all the different direction from the governor's Restore Illinois orders and specifics that came down to us as a park district from the Illinois Department of Public Health and the CDC. So in addition to recreating the entire business, some of the new complex issues that arose that we dealt with included furloughs, that was right at the beginning, remote work setup and new processes and policies, return to work, which came later, FFCRA, which is the Family First Coronavirus Response Act, and that dealt with, if you're not familiar, paid leave, who got paid, who did not, who got benefits and who did not, of the people that were not of the affected workers. We dealt with quarantine regulations each step of the way, and when and how each person that was exposed had to quarantine. We created an entire new restorations of operations manual, and that guided all of our principals throughout, and has been updated for training of our staff and all of our cleaning protocols and much more. Classes and facility sizes, of course, were analyzed throughout the pandemic. Budget forecasting was a big part of what led us through, and that changed with each phase and each direction. Often at the very last minute, they seem to like to give us our guidelines on Friday evening. So we would spend the weekend, parsing out what that meant to us and reacting as quickly as we could, like I said, to make sure we were making safe, logical decisions for the patrons and for our staff. And I cannot, of course, that one of the biggest parts of this was marketing. Margaret and I spent a lot of quality time over the weekends, with our public messaging, changing signage, and making sure that at each step that the public was aware of with the different phases, how that was going to affect, the public and then the employees. So there was kind of always, a couple, and then the law, right? So there's a lot of talking with the attorneys and our state association and our Park District Risk Management. So we consulted with several experts, every time we made these decisions. So I couldn't be more proud of the team and of our board for, just at every single step of the way, we just took what the information was in front of us and made these logical decisions, and we analyzed and, did what we could through those guidelines. I guess the success stories, to me, Jean mentioned this, that it has never been so apparent how important the parks and open space and our outdoor amenities are to the public. And I know personally, how it helped me through in my neighborhood using the parks. But, we've never had, since I've been here at least, such great use of the open space and of the pathways and everything, the playgrounds when people could use them. So that was very gratifying to me, and it became more important that not that we've never focused on the outdoor programming and facilities, and our indoor space is so crucially important as well, but I think it really, it pointed out the importance of the focus on the outdoor areas. So the staff, continues to shift and, move through the different phases. We're now in phase 4. I can't even tell you, because it's kind of a blur, how many different phases. And then there was different segments of each phase that would come out. So there was a lot. That's all I can say right now without, really going back and trying to figure it out. But we, because each time they come up with this little nuances of each facility. So it was really quite the challenge. So the staff, as I mentioned, I can't say it enough. It was how can we make this work? Not, oh my gosh, we just have to shut down. It was, how can we make this work? Who do we need to do it? And then that's where some of those tough furlough decisions came in, because of course, we are 50% approximately driven by fees and charges and 50% tax revenue. So there was a lot of unknowns in the beginning and throughout the summer. We shifted every step of the way within each phase, like I said, like everybody else. Systems for virtual classes, meetings, and marketing were put in place. Our technology planning and implementation were invaluable to get us up and running quickly. So we were in a good position to shift to, starting to meet online and work remotely. Some examples of, the things we did, and I know several of you know this, but the fitness center moved our equipment to the gym, shifted classes outdoors, and made many other adjustments for a safe environment for the people to work out and to use the indoor pool. The special events became drive-through, the trunk or treat being the first example, the Grinch event where we went to people, we went on the road is what I said our staff did. Santa was out on the bus and going to people's homes. So there were several examples of special events that were, we packed up supplies and delivered, or people picked them up. Like I said, there was events at, just at people's homes and then out in our parking lots. So that was another success story. The ice skating classes held at the outdoor rink was one of my favorites. Well, we could, of course, weather dependent, and that was a first. The nature center classes were very popular, and they utilized the new pavilion and even came up with the idea to order the side plastic panels for programming, so they could continue into the winter. And I will tell you, when I would go over there, the kids and the staff were the most resilient that I think I've ever seen in very cold temperatures out and but it was just so good to see the kids getting, some socialization and exercise. So that staff is to be commended, like all of them. Of course, when school was canceled, our staff jumped in to offer Camp Ridge, which was a recreation and e-learning program. And there was a lot of variables in terms of how and what we could do to not make it a school program, but make it a camp program. So all of those are just some very small examples of the shifting with the programming. In terms of the finances, this was probably one of the, the scariest from the beginning. What was this going to do to our budget? Again, we recreated the budget early on to operate within the guidelines for over the summer. We presented a moderate and stress case scenario to lose anywhere between $2 and $4 million. So the stress case scenario was a scary number for us, but we knew if we could keep at least to that number, we would have a fund balance, and we could continue. We knew that if we got past that, we would have to make some major shifts in expenses. I will tell you, we made a lot of shifts in expenses, but where it helped us was the tax revenue that came in, which is 50% of our revenues. And then, unfortunately, when we're not running classes and programs or operating facility, our part-time staff are not working. So, that affected a lot of our valuable part-time instructors and staff that just didn't have work and still do not in many cases. So like I said, many cuts to the budget. The good news is that with all of the work and all of the decisions made as of January 31st, which is our unaudited, figure, that we're looking to end the year with a final operating net deficit of no more than $300,000. Now that number doesn't sound great, but trust me, it's compared to $2.4 million. We're very pleased that we were able to end the year like that. And I think we would have been closer. Well, I know we would have when we completely had to shut down the last 6 weeks of the year. That hurt us even more, but we were going to be close to breaking even. So that's the good news for the Park District. So we have a healthy fund balance of $7,780,000, and that's for us a very healthy fund balance. We did cut back on some of the capital projects. And to give you an overall feel, the fees and admissions, which are more the daily fees that people come in to do things, and then admissions to, like open skate and open gym and those kind of things. Those were down over 50%. And the program revenues, the people sign up for programs, were down approximately 67%. And of course, as I mentioned, the expense reductions correlated with that. So our budget, my challenge to the staff was budget to break even for this coming year. So we did that. We presented a break even budget to the board, and trust me, there were some tough decisions made in terms of finances, and it's a budget, so we'll see how that goes. We budgeted to program in phase 4 through winter and spring, and then summer and fall and winter we budgeted to be in phase 5, which does not look like we'll be in phase 5, but I think we can manage to come out okay. I think we've proven that we can do this within these guidelines. So that I know I took a lot of time on that, but I think as stakeholders, it's important for you to understand, how this affected the Park District and how I feel like the district came through and really, did what we could for the community in a safe and a financially responsible way. So that was a lot. Any questions on that, or should I continue? So questions to the end?
Yeah, why don't you continue? We'll do questions at the end.
Great. Now to the fun stuff. We look forward to with optimism to this next year. As I said, we've understood how to operate like this if we need to, but I think we're hopefully we're at the light. The light is at the end of the tunnel. It is important, and the board also supported last year the capital projects that were started that made sense to continue, and the repair and replacement, and that's always our focus. And then the other things come from our master planning and our other planning at the district. So as mentioned earlier, the focus on outdoor amenities is going to continue in 2021. And here are, there's other capital projects on the list, but I pulled out these ones that I thought would most affect the public and you'd be most interested in. We're going to be redoing tennis courts, and then the Woodland Park project, the Hinckley Park Community Gardens, which is still in planning stages, but that is something that we plan on doing. The Hinckley Outdoor Lighting Renovation Project, which is the lights, the athletic lights for the football field at Hinckley. The Maine Park playground planning. So we won't be doing the new playground this year, but we'll start the planning process for the large playground at Maine Park. And then the Maine Park Outdoor Nature Classroom. The other thing that I didn't put on this list, of course, is one minor project, the Oakton Master Plan discussions. Those will resume. I put at the appropriate time in 2021, and I can't tell you what that's going to be right now, but I had brought to the board last year during the pandemic, we were on a good trajectory of going out to the public and talking to them about the referendum, the potential referendum at Oakton, and we're receiving good feedback from the public, and then the pandemic hit. So it did not seem obviously this is the time to continue those talks, but I think it is appropriate at some point in the future. The JC tennis courts will take a little while. We've found out some things about underneath those courts with the drainage that it will have to go to the city and MWRD, so they'll start in fall of 2021. There's planning going on right now, and those will be ready, projected to be ready in spring of 2022, bearing all the approvals that we need to go through for that. And then the Hinckley Outdoor Lighting Renovation Project will be the summer to the fall of 2021. That is being paid for from TIF funds for the city, that we have certain projects that the TIF will pay for that. I wanted to bring up and thank the foundation at this point for the Maine Park, the long-awaited Maine Park Outdoor Classroom Program. That this was approved by the board. We've received the bids. They came in favorably. So we'll be able to do everything that you see on this, the diagram here. And this is, of course, the one that the foundation has been raising funds for the past, how many years? 3, 4, forever. But we appreciate
3 in June.
I thought it was 3 in June. So this project is happening thanks to the foundation. And it will start, I'm being told, May 22nd. With the projected completion date of July 31st. So that's very exciting. Another, our largest project we'll be undertaking this year is the Woodland Park project. And this is the project that we're receiving the $400,000 OSLAD matching grant for. We did go out to bid and receive bids back, and those were approved by the board last month in February, and this project will, the construction timeline is April 1st of this year through November 30th. So this will greatly improve Woodland Park. The tennis courts were in very rough shape and unplayable, actually. We had locked those courts because of the condition of the court. So we'll be introducing more 6 dedicated pickleball courts, The basketball court will be refurbished and expanded. 2-stall restroom facility, picnic shelter, pathways, and the rain gardens to capture stormwater runoff and mitigate flooding. So that, like I said, is thanks also to a grant that we received from the OSLAD program. Wanted to bring up some potential funding considerations for the foundation. And of course, any other ideas, that you have, of course, are, something that we welcome and would consider. But in terms of ideas from us as the Park District staff, these are the things that did not make the budget that I think are very important to the public, is some of our, the concerts in the park, the family concert at Prospect Park, and the movie in the park. I will tell you that the fireworks did make it back in the budget. The board felt very strongly about that. And of course the staff did, but we were trying to make this break-even budget, which we made happen. But the fireworks are back in. Does not mean there's going to be fireworks. That we're waiting. If we were to stay in the phase we're in right now, it would not be allowable because only groups of 50 are allowed. And so clearly there's more than 50 people that attend the fireworks. So this will be a joint decision between the city, Maine Township, and the Park District who hosts this event. So that will be, we will be continuing to monitor that and the direction we get from the state on that. So these other potential funding considerations, this does not mean we're not going to host these if we're in a position we feel like when we need to make these decisions that that we're doing better than it looks in terms of the budget, but they're currently not in the budget. So, these would be something that would be, we would be grateful for the foundation to think about maybe one of these. Finally, I wanted to end and make sure that I thank all of you and the Friends of the Park organization for raising $28,450 in 2020. It is amazing. It's I believe it's the most you've raised, and it does make a difference. It's making a difference in the outdoor classroom, and it's making a difference in areas that are really important that we may not be able to fund without your support. The scholarships has been consistent, and that is something that we can't fund through Park District funds. But the outdoor classroom, $16,000 will be going to the outdoor nature classroom of the funds you've raised. $2,700 $2,700 to scholarships, $7,500 from bench tree memorials, $950 to other restricted areas, and $1,300 to unrestricted. So the bike sale is always one of my favorites, and I think every event that the Friends of the Park comes up with, of course, you're going to talk about a little bit more of the light posts. That was another great idea. So I think these things also not only raise money, they bring that bike sale this year. As we all know, talking to the people at the bike sale, that people couldn't find bikes, right? And so we helped people during the pandemic that wouldn't, they were so anxious and appreciative that we were doing this bike sale. And, I know we have expert, Mike, and his crew in terms of fixing up these old bikes. It always amazes me. And I know I still have 2 of them in the bathhouse, but I will get them out before the next bike sale. But so anyway, I thank you greatly for all you do and for taking time out of all of your busy schedules to support the Park District. It means a lot to the district and to me. So I welcome to answer any questions, or if you don't want to take the time during this meeting, you can always reach out to me at any time.
Thanks, Gail.
You're welcome.
Gina, I wonder if I can just say that as a board liaison to this group, how pleased every member of the board was of how Gail and the whole organization adapted during this time, and how proud we are and thankful we are for their hard work and creativity. So every single meeting they get the thanks, and we can't thank them enough because it's just been a really rough year. So thank you, Gail.
Thank you. And, the board support has been It's been invaluable this year, as it always is, but yes, thank you very much.
Thanks. And
All right.
now we'll hear from various board members on our different projects. We're going to start with the Petals for the Parks and Mike Wapner.
Were you going to do questions?
Oh, well, are there any questions? I'm sorry. On Gail's question?
I threw a lot of information at you, so I won't be offended if there's not questions right now and you guys reach out if you have them, but I'm welcome. Any questions are welcome.
Okay, and if people have questions, Gail, how should they?
They can email me. Email me is fine, and I can give them a call or, do it over email, whatever works best.
Okay. Terrific. Okay, so the next item is the Petals for the Parks. Mike, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Thanks, Jean. I think, first, Gail mentioned the sale we had last year. In the spring and in March, when things first changed, we said, oh, are we going to be able to do the bike sale? We're not sure. Of course, wasn't too long before we realized it was a no way. But as the summer got along and we saw there were possibilities for different things, we decided to give it a shot. I had no idea if we'd have any bikes donated or if we'd have any customers, but we had pretty much record numbers of both. So yeah, as Gail said, it went great. So we are going to do it again this year in April. The sale is going to be on Saturday, April 24th, once again at Centennial Pool. Similar setup to previous years. We're going to have our donation day 2 weeks before on Saturday, April 10th. And hopefully the community will go back into their garages and bring out lots more bikes. So we have another good inventory to sell. We do have a rain date for the sale on Sunday, April 25th, because we don't have an alternative. We wouldn't be able to do a sale in the rain inside the locker rooms. There just wouldn't be enough space, wouldn't be able to space people out. So that's why we do have a rain date set for this year. We would probably not have some of our partners show up as they have in the past. Advocate Lutheran General has had their helmet sale, which is a phenomenal deal in past years. They weren't able to do it last year. Don't expect they're going to be able to do it this year, though they are, of course, invited. There's just too much close face-to-face contact. We do expect, however, the police department will be with us once again to register bikes, and hopefully they have a few more abandoned bikes they can donate for the sale. The biggest thing is going to be make sure we have enough volunteers. Things worked great last year. I know each of the board members is working on friends and family and other organizations. In the next month or so, we'll try to get more specific on that and make sure we have enough staffing. But otherwise, I think we're just looking forward to another great sale.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Are there any questions for Mike? Okay. Next, Steve Hunst, would you like to talk about scholarship?
Yes, our goal here for the foundation, working with the Park District, is help the less fortunate. These are trying times right now. Any way we can help people to be able to use the facilities when their finances are stretched, the more the better. We're doing a couple $1,000s every year going through this. We let Gail's staff determine who are the recipients of these precious funds. We're doing everything we can that every person in the Park District can use the facilities. Gail, I want to appreciate the help your staff does of running this event. And that's it. We give money every year, and it's up to the Park District of how the funds are allocated.
Great.
Any questions?
No question? Okay. Thanks, Steve. Next, the lamppost fundraiser. Cindy?
Oh, thank you for that visual, Margaret. There is a picture of the beautiful lampposts. They were taken down from Hodges Park this early spring or late fall and replaced because of problems with the gas leaks in the park. And we were the fortunate recipients of the lamps. Unfortunately, most of them were not in great shape, but we auctioned off our first lamp this spring in December. And I think we made over $2,000 on that raffle. And we hope to do one later this summer. And that may be it because of the shape of the lamps. They probably won't be able to be reused. So it was a one-time kind of fun event, and hopefully we can get some visibility and make some more money next summer.
Great. Are there any questions? Okay. Next is the Trees Forever program. This started several years ago to recognize the Park Ridge Park District's 100-year anniversary, and we kicked off a 100 Trees for 100 Years program. Through this, the Friends raised over $10,000 in donations to fund the replacement of the hundreds of trees lost to the emerald ash borer. The need, even when we completed that, the need for planting trees is ongoing. After the success of the initial fundraiser, the Friends kicked off the Trees Forever program to continue raising funds for this cause. Donors can honor a friend or loved one with an engraved leaf on the bronze memorial tree, which is located in the lobby of the Maine Park Leisure Center. There are gold, silver, and bronze leaves. The donor memorial tree is actually mounted on a mural, which was custom painted by a local artist as a donation to our foundation. More information about donations to this program can be found on our website, parkridgefriendsoftheparks.org. And last, we have Suzanne Henn to talk about membership.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Jean. Tonight, I'm going to touch upon our membership, a program that we put together back in 2018. So really taking 2020 out of the picture for continuity, it's still relatively new. The membership program supplements our tree program. It contributes to the scholarship funds, which Steve touched upon, for individuals who otherwise cannot afford participating in recreational programs, as well as help fund the social worker and services to seniors at the activity center, amongst others. Currently, we offer 3 levels of membership to become a friend of the parks. The first level is a patron for $25, and you receive our annual newsletter. The second level we offer is a benefactor for $50. You receive a Friends of the Park cap, which I'm sporting tonight, as well as a copy of the newsletter, and a lifetime membership for $500, and those receive a cap, of course, the newsletter, and continued recognition on our website, as well as other benefits for the lifetime that come in season or annually. This time I would like to give a shout out to our 4 lifetime members, Ms. Cindy Rao, who's present with us tonight, Jim O'Brien, Mr. and Mrs. James O'Donnell, as well as Jennifer Michelina and Brian Gordini. And just to recap, in 2019, as we halted membership for 2020, we left at 4 lifetime members, 21 benefactors, and 7 patrons. And we hope to make a push for people to rejoin this summer with marketing at our 2021 in-person events and through the Park District promotions. And you can find updated membership information on our website. Thank you.
Thanks, Suzanne. Are there any questions on membership? Okay. The next item is our 2021 budget. We use this as a guideline to target our revenues and expenses for the year. You can take a quick look. I'm not going to go through all of the numbers, but if you have any questions, and as board, we need to approve this. Would one of the board members like to move to approve this?
I'll motion to approve the 2021 budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion carries. The next item is the election of officers for 2021. This slate consists of President Jean Costigan, that's me, Vice President Suzanne Henn, Secretary Bridget Flannery, and Treasurer Steve Hunst. Can we move to approve the board?
I move to nominate the slate as stated.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second,
Mike, okay, all in favor? Aye.
I,
Aye.
Terrific. The motion carries. If you are interested in joining our board, you can contact me via our website, the Contact Us button, or you can email prfriendsoftheparks@gmail.com, or you can reach out to Margaret Holler. We're always interested in more members on our board. And our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 12th, which again will be virtual. For the latest news and events, please follow us on Facebook or check out our website, prfriendsoftheparks.org. Thank you all for coming. Are there any final questions or comments? Okay.
Hi, I'm just a visitor, Lindsay White. I helped with the bike sale last year, and I'm interested in helping again. If that's helpful, and just wanted to reach out to Mike. I don't know if you want to.
yep, yeah, Lindsay, could you please send me an email?
Sure.
My email address is just Mike Wapner, so MikeWapner @gmail.com.
Okay, I'll send you in a quick note. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay. That's terrific. Okay. I move to adjourn the meeting at 7:43 p.m.
I second.
Mike? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you. Good to see everyone.